Demand is an interesting issue in energy efficiency because it's primarily a cost and capacity issue where businesses might be charged a higher rate for all of their electricity because they have spikes where the demand is really high. And these spikes also have to stay within the rated supply capacity. So spikes can actually push the business, to the allowable limit. Kevin, what causes these spikes in demand?
Thanks, Celeste. The spikes in demand happen everywhere. Across the grid nationally, if you look at the graph of energy use, there's a peak demand which goes all through daylight hours with an extra peak around breakfast and dinner times. So this is the peak period and allows off-peak use at other times. The same happens in business. When we've got everything turned on, we have a peak demand. But it's probably of more use for us to focus on a particular spike that's caused by turning equipment on. When we start up an electric motor, it draws an extremely high current. As you can see on the red line on the graph there, the current drawn during startup can be 6 or even 10 times higher than the current that's drawn when the motor is running normally. If we go into a place and turn all our equipment on at once, we get this huge spike in demand. And this can push us right up to our maximum allowable supply limit. And so reducing our peak demand will then free up this way, or free up our extra capacity. We can reduce our peak demand by staggering our start, by scheduling a startup time for different bits of equipment. Or if we want to get technical about it, we can put in what's called a soft startup on our electric motors. And the blue line shows the current draw for a soft startup. As you can see, it's still more than the average running current, but it's an awful lot less than the startup for a normal motor. But often just staggering the start time and scheduling start times is all we need to do. So if we manage our peak demand, this allows us to increase our productive capacity while staying within our supply capacity that's already been wired into the place. It saves the expensive addition to our power supply capacity. Some people have also found by doing this analysis of scheduling it that what comes out of it is that some bits of equipment actually don't need to be turned on every day anyway. And so this then is a further saving that they find. The other thing we sometimes find is that the rate that we are charged for our power comes down. Many electricity suppliers set the dollar per kilowatt hour based on your peak demand. And so if you can lower your peak demand, you may also reduce the actual price you pay for a unit of electricity. Perhaps surprisingly, it's not just the big chunks of equipment out in the plant that chew up the electricity. Computers have a significant impact as well. We have a lot of computers. We can get a lot of information for this from our hardware supplier off the net. We can pick our computers up and have a look at the energy rating plates, which are on all bits of electrical equipment, and these are often a much quicker way of finding out the power draw on these things. And so one of the businesses we talked to found that rather than the first person in turning on all the computers and then everybody going off and getting coffee while everything started up, they're much better off allowing computers to be turned on just when needed. And sometimes, because the salesperson was out on the road, their computer didn't need to be turned on until halfway through the day. And so they actually saved quite a bit of power.